I read an interesting article on IGN the other day, and they were talking about what Sony's studios are currently working on. Because obviously it's been quite a long time since we've had an announcement of any kind, of any new games or any new IPs or anything that they're working on. And that's why I wanted to do this video. I'm just going to kind of go over the points that IGN made and give you my thoughts on everything. So it's quite clear that we all know that Sony are working on the PS4. And they're reluctant to admit it, so we're probably going to get an announcement very soon. I believe at E3 we'll get the announcement of the PS4, and I do think it's going to be coming out sooner than we expect, but I'll save all that for another video. But Sony Studios, they're well known for making brilliant exclusive games, loads of popular games, but apart from The Last of Us and Beyond Two Souls, and obviously God of War Ascension, that there's nothing really that's been announced like majorly, and I think that's partly because they're waiting for the PS4, then they're going to announce loads of good games for them. So yeah, I'll go through the majority of the Sony studios and give you my thoughts on what they're currently working on. So Evolution Studios, I believe that they are working on MotorStorm for the PS4. Obviously MotorStorm kind of came around on the PS3. It was a PS3 release day game, so it is a very popular franchise, and I don't think they're going to stop the franchise. I do think that they're going to be working on a new MotorStorm. They're not a very big studio, so I do think that they're going to keep to their flagship game. Admittedly, I don't know too much about Evolution Studios, so that's why I think MotorStorm will be their game. Guerrilla Games, obviously very well known for Killzone. I do think there will be a Killzone 4. I think it's secured itself as such a popular franchise on the PS3. Even though it started on the PS2, I don't think it was very kind of popular, or not many people played it when when Killzone 1 was released. But with the release of Killzone 2, a lot more people played it, purely because it was a big exclusive for the PS3, and it was a big kind of big action first-person shooter with brilliant visuals and great multiplayer and everything like that. I'm included in that. Killzone 2 was the first Killzone I played. I didn't play the first one, and I really enjoyed it. I'm still yet to play Killzone 3. Strangely, I've got nothing against the game. I do eventually want to play it, but I do believe they're going to be working on Killzone 4 for the PS4, because, like I said, it's been a very popular franchise. Media Molecule. Obviously, Little Big Planet is their flagship, and there's going to be no mistake that there will be more Little Big Planet games. Obviously, Sackboy is PlayStation's kind of poster character, along with Nathan Drake at the moment. So I have no doubts in my mind that Little Big Planet 3 will be coming out. But I would like to see Media Molecule kind of branch out and kind of come away from Little Big Planet a bit more. I'd like to see maybe some kind of 2D action platformers for downloadable games for PSN or something like that, because obviously, especially coming from this year, PSN downloadable games are very popular. Look at Journey, it was a brilliant game, it won loads of awards, even The Walking Dead, the episodic games, that won Game of the Year. So it shows that people are buying these downloadable games, and that not necessarily everyone's not looking for a big over-the-top Hollywood action first-person shooter game to play every day. People want to see these smaller little kind of indie games, something which is very different to what we used to. So I do think that Media Molecule should look into that, because I think with the success of Little Big Planet and how well it works as a 2D platformer, I do think they have the kind of advantage over everyone else to make a good kind of downloadable 2D platformer game or something like that. So yeah, I do think Little Big Planet 3 will be their next big announcement, but I do hope they branch out a bit more, because I, for one, am getting a little bit bored of Little Big Planet, and I didn't get the second one, and I doubt I'd get the third. I may get the third one if it's on the PS4, but like again, I haven't really got a big interest in Little Big Planet anymore. Naughty Dog, Sony's biggest studio by far. Now, most people, actually me included, I believe that they are working on Uncharted 4. That's what I believe. Obviously, it's a well-known fact that Naughty Dog are split up into two sides. One side is currently working on The Last of Us, and the other side, we don't know what they're working on at the moment. So it's kind of a toss-up. Most people believe it's going to be Uncharted 4 or Jak 4. As much as I'd love it to be Jak 4, you know how much I am of a Jak and Daxter fan. I can see it being Uncharted 4 purely because of how popular it is and how successful it makes the it made the PS3. So they're going to want to bring out an Uncharted 4 for the PS4, probably as a release day game or something like that, to get the people buying it, to get more Uncharted, because it's so successful. And I love Uncharted. I can't wait to get the new one. As you know, Uncharted 3 is one of my favourite games of all time. I've been with the Uncharted series since the first game, not many people played it. I loved the look of it, and I've stuck with Uncharted ever since. So to see more Uncharted is going to be great. I'm just a little bit wary that they're going to turn it into a bit of like a, I don't know, I can't explain it, like they're selling out a bit and just giving people Uncharted for the sake of it because it's a successful game. I hope they can kind of improve on it, because even though Uncharted 3 was my personal favourite, I know that it's definitely not the favourite of the overall majority of fans. I know that Uncharted 2 is always kind of up there. So I hope that Uncharted doesn't turn into like a game series that we get sick of. And that's why I think it's a perfect time to release Jak 4. We haven't had it since I think it's 2004 or 2005 with Jak 3 on the PS2. We've had nearly 9 years without a Jak game, and I think it's about time we got back into it. It's very popular, the fans are still around. It shows that the fans are still around with PlayStation All-Stars, because Jak and Daxter are always a popular character that I see when I play online and everything. And they're great lovable characters. And when was the last time we had a sort of cartoony platformer game like that, sort of like Jak and Daxter, Spyro? There's Ratchet and Clank, but Ratchet and Clank isn't really the same as it used to be anymore. So yeah, I want to see a return to a platformer similar to Jak. So yeah, I'm hoping for Jak 4. We've got Polyphony Digital, which I'm not too aware of. I know that they make Gran Turismo, so yeah, I can't see them not making a new Gran Turismo, so we'll probably see that on the PS4. Obviously we get one on every console, so there's no doubt we're going to get Gran Turismo 6. Bend Studios, so they work on a lot of kind of handheld games, so they work on a lot of the Vita titles. They've made Vita versions of Resistance, Killzone, and Uncharted, I believe. So there's no doubt I think they're going to make a sequel to Uncharted Golden Abyss. I'm yet to have a PlayStation Vita. I did want one, and I don't know if I'll get one, because I always say I want handhelds, but when I eventually get them, I rarely play them. So they're going to have to release quite a few good games for me to want to get the Vita. But I've got no doubt that Uncharted looks very good on there, and I think it's done well enough for them to warrant a sequel. So Sony Cambridge, again, not a very popular studio. They don't make very big AAA titles. But I do think they did make the PS1 game called Medieval, and I think it's time that they made a sequel to that. Maybe not for the PS4 or anything like that, because it's not that style game, but maybe for the Vita or something along those lines, or a PSN downloadable game. If you didn't know, Medieval stars Sir Daniel Fortesque, who you may know from PlayStation All-Stars, the skeleton guy with the sword and shield. It was a very popular PS1 game. It was just your kind of typical action platformer, and it was great fun, and I'm quite shocked that they've never made a return to the series, so I'd love to see another one of those games. Sony London. Now Sony London nowadays have kind of turned into a sort of casual gamer party game sort of studio. They make SingStar, and they've made a lot of PlayStation Move games as well. But back in the PS2, they made two of my favourite PS2 games, and those were The Getaway and The Getaway Black Monday. Sort of like London's answer to Grand Theft Auto, but much more gritty and much more serious. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I'd love to see a return to The Getaway on the PS4. I think it's a kind of great setting, great idea, kind of the streets of London, very serious, and especially coming from the UK, it's nice to have a game set in the UK. So yeah, I'd love to see a return to The Getaway, because I miss the series. Sony San Diego, again, not a very popular one. They don't really make such big games, but they did make Mod Nation Races, and I do think they will stick with the series. I think Mod Nation Racers was successful enough to warrant a sequel, maybe on the PS4. Very similar to Little Big Planet, maybe, where they just keep releasing the sequels. It's kind of overall the same game, but you release the sequels just kind of like an update, really. So I do think we'll see more Mod Nation Racers. Santa Monica Studios is a very big studio. Obviously they make God of War, and I've got no doubt in my mind that they'll make God of War 4, but I can't really speak much on the subject because I've never played God of War, strangely. I really want to. I don't know why I haven't played God of War before. It's arguably Sony's biggest franchise, along with Uncharted, and I don't know why I've played it. The hype of God of War Ascension, everyone's kind of into it at the moment. I'm playing the beta, but again, I've never played it, so I really need to get into God of War. I do want to pick up the HD collections and then get myself really into it, and eventually get Ascension, and then in the far future on the PS4 get God of War 4, because we all know that's going to come out, don't we? Japan Studio, I want The Last Guardian, and I can't stress enough how angry it is making me that we're not seeing this game. If they're not working on it, or if they're ditching the game or canning it or anything like that, I'm going to go and protest. I will walk to Japan and I will protest, because that game looks outstanding. And if you've played Ico and you've played Shadow of the Colossus, you know how good this game is going to be. So yeah, I'm just hoping and praying that we get any news on The Last Guardian this year. So join your hands together with me and let's all pray. They also make kind of PSN downloadable games, and I know that they're working on a game which looks quite intriguing called Rain. It's a downloadable PSN game. It was announced at, I think, E3, but we haven't seen much more about that. So yeah, I can see them kind of sticking to more downloadable games and things like that for the future. But The Last Guardian, I want it to come out. And finally, Sucker Punch, very well known for making Infamous and the Sly Cooper games. I do think we'll get an Infamous 3. I know that the ending of Infamous 2 does kind of put like a barrier to us getting a sequel. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can probably guess what I mean. I probably spoiled it just then anyway. But Infamous 3 I do think is going to happen because it's such a popular series for the PS3, and I don't think they're going to kind of give that up, because Sucker Punch, Infamous has taken over Sly Cooper as the kind of flagship series, in my opinion. So I don't think they're going to want to stop that. Maybe we'll get kind of one in the far future, maybe not so soon, because Infamous 1 and 2 kind of stand together on their own. And I'm just going to stop talking because I can see myself spoiling the end of Infamous 2 if I haven't already. So yeah, Infamous 3 I want to see on the PS4. So that's about it for the studios. I know I haven't mentioned too much, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. Leave your comments down below as usual all the time. I like to read through all the comments, and as usual, I appreciate all the support, all the views, all the likes, everything. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for all my new latest subscribers as well. I've noticed I've gained quite a few over the last few weeks, so thank you very much for subscribing. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.